Hello and welcome. In a major development in the month of July 2020, the microblogging and the social networking site Twitter faced one of the most severe attacks by the hackers, leading to some serious online frauds. In this video, I will explain some of the details of this particular issue. So let's start. Now, this particular hacking incident took place on 15th of July 2020 when Twitter experienced its worst case scenario, that is a massive hack that compromised the accounts of some of its highest profile users, which include the former president of US, Mr. Barack Obama, and the presidential candidates for the 2020 election, Joe Biden, Kanye West, and also tech users like the former Microsoft chairman, Bill Gates, the Tesla and SpaceX CEO, Elon Musk, Amazon CEO, Jeff Bezos, as well as some of the well-known institutions like Apple. Now, it is said to be one of the most brazen online attacks in the history, and the most powerful Twitter accounts in America were all tweeting about the demanding of the bitcoins. Now, around 4 p.m. in particular day of 15th of July, many high-profile accounts started tweeting a message saying that any bitcoin sent to a particular link will be sent back in the double after getting doubled. And this particular offer, Twitter said that lasted for around 30 minutes. Now, these are the different tweets, such as from the high-profile users like Mr. Barack Obama, Jeff Bezos, Mr. Elon Musk, and the Microsoft chairman, Bill Gates. Everybody or every profile was asking for the bitcoins, and it is particularly saying that if someone sends the bitcoin, they will be sending back in a doubled after getting the bitcoin doubled. And this is the bitcoin address that the particular tweet was referring. Every tweet is having the same bitcoin address as can be seen here. Now, Uber and Apple were among the first to be impacted by this attack, and then it followed by the attacks on Mr. Elon Musk and Mr. Bill Gates. And in a couple of hours, this particular attack was taken over to the accounts of Mr. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and the former New York mayor and the politician Mike Bloomberg, and the Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. And around the time, the handles of the boxer Floyd Mayweather and the celebrities like Kim Kardashian were also been affected. And the Twitter locked most large verified account across the US and the rest of the world for their safety and to resist the online frauds. However, in the particular 4 odd hours, that particular tweet and the address of the bitcoin were alive, this particular wallet of bitcoin received somewhere around $100,000 in just around 300 transactions. So this is the particular hack is all about. Now, after 4 hours, there is a response from the Twitter, that is from the handle of @Twitter support, whereby they have acknowledged the security incident and they have informed the users that the users may be unable to tweet or reset the passwords till they are reviewing the situation. Here is the picture you can see, whereby there is different tweets from the particular handle of Twitter support. And after that, sometime, the handle said again that the users may be able to tweet again, but they have restricted the full functionality as of now, but they are working on the situation to bring the situation back to normal as quickly as possible. Now, Mr. Jack Dorsey, who is the Twitter CEO, has referred to this incident to be a tough day for them at Twitter, and they are still diagnosing, and they will share everything what has happened to them. Now, after all this has happened, Twitter started their own investigation, and after their investigation was over, Twitter said that their internal systems were compromised by the hackers. So, confirming theories that the attack was conducted with the particular entity who has the access to the company's own tools and some employee privileges as well. Now, according to the Twitter support here, as this particular incident was took place due to the coordinated social engineering attack, which were executed by the people who successfully targeted some of their employees with access to some of the internal systems and some of the administrative tools. Now, in this particular development, it seems that the Twitter is acknowledging that numerous of the people is involved in this situation, in this incident, not just one, and also some of their own employees were compromised too. So this is a very threatening situation for them, whereby their own internal systems and the administrative tools and employees were compromised. So what is this particular thing called social engineering? Now, this is a particular type of hacking technique by which the hackers manipulate the victims in order to obtain some genuine information about the organization. Now, according to the experts, the particular attackers will appear to be unassuming and respectable. That means the attackers first came to the user in disguise, and they often pose as a new employee or a repair person, or offering some credentials to the workers to appear to be more legitimate to them, right? And the attacker is able to gather information about the company's network by asking some questions, and may use the information to appear more credible when approaching other employees within the organization. And this is the thing which appears to be what happened at the Twitter. Now, there are several different techniques by which the hackers rely on when attempting to manipulate a victim, and these particular techniques are called, first one is called baiting. Now, in baiting, the particular attacker will trick the employee or the worker that they trick the employee or worker to perform a particular task by supplying some reward to the employee. Now, the attacker may give the employee a particular USB device or USB drive, which will be having some malicious softwares, by which they may have the access to the internal systems, which may include the keyloggers. Okay, so this is the technique called baiting. Next technique is called the pretexting. Now, in pretexting, the particular attackers, they will pose as a IT support worker, right, and they will request the employees of the organization to supply them with the passwords with the passwords because they were just working on to the system maintenance. Okay, so this is about the pre-texting. Now next is the, first let me clear it. Yeah, so next is the tailgating. In tailgating, the attackers will follow the employees, and they simply took a note of the particular places, of the vital places of the organization, like whereby the servers are located or whereby the critical systems are located. And after that, the particular attacker will pose as a worker or some employee or someone who is more credible, and they will have the access to this particular restricted area, and then asking the employee to lead them to those areas with a particular badge in their pocket. So this is nothing but tailgating. Next is the quid pro quo. In quid pro quo, the attacker will pose as a someone else who might offer some money or some reward in exchange of the employees' passwords. So these are the 4 different techniques by which this social engineering technique is happening. Okay, now this is called to be the social engineering circle, by which first is the information gathering from the employees, and then there is establishing the relationships and the rapport with them. Then they will exploit them by offering some different rewards, money and all, and after that they will execute their plans, like hacking or compromising the situation, like that happened in the Twitter. Now that we know the technique of coordinated social engineering attack, it will be easy to understand that what has happened to the Twitter's internal systems and the tools. But the Twitter does not elaborate actually what happened with their internal systems, but the various underground hacking community or the hacking circles have been sharing some screenshots of an internal company admin tool. This is the particular picture I am referring to, and it has allegedly used to conduct this account takeovers by the hackers, whereby they have potentially reset the passwords or reset the email accounts and recover the passwords, and they have claimed to have paid a Twitter employee with some hefty reward to change the email addresses of the popular accounts of the various personalities using this particular internal tool, so that they could then take the control of this particular account of the personalities. And this is the particular tool I am referring to. And this is the Twitter's internal administrative tool. Okay, now that we have just finished what has happened with the Twitter, now let's see what are the implications or the aftershocks of this particular incident. Now Twitter for sure will likely face some of the serious questions about the internal security precautions and the protections that it is offering to the millions of users, and it could also face far more catastrophic consequences in the future also. In the meantime, Twitter will find itself to be facing government interventions and investigations from authorities like FBI. Now social media like Twitter in particular is right now in the public domain or public sphere, So some hijacker or hackers could easily hijack some account and could pose a serious threat, because they can wreak the economic damage, or they could start a national security crisis, or create some societal panic in the society. Now consider some of the potential threats to the society which is posed by these particular incidents, like takeover of the different accounts. Like number one is the market stability or market destabilization, to be precise, by which there will be some coordinated attack on the famous accounts of the institutions like Apple, Google or Microsoft, or some famous personalities as well, by which this there will be rogue tweets like these that we have just seen, by which the after putting these particular rogue tweets, there will be some damage to the stock market. There can be some damage to the stock markets, at least for some temporary times, and it could also erode the confidence in the markets. Now next, it could also create some societal panic. How? That is by a false warning about an impending terrorist attack. That is a false warning about some impending terrorist attack from a major media company account could create dangerous panic among the public. Now it could also create some national security threat. How? Now we know that right now Mr. Trump, that is the US President, current US President, is using his Twitter account in mostly, and imagine a situation whereby Mr. Trump's account is compromised, and there will be some rogue tweets about announcing a nuclear strike on the North Korea or some other country, and how much catastrophe or how much havoc it can create all around the world. Now next, it will also create some serious threat to the democracy, because there is now there is a 2020 presidential election which is about to happen in US, and at this moment of time some rogue tweets or some rogue messages could create a serious threat to the democracy. Now at last, let's see the way forward, that is the protection measures. Now what the experts are recommending is the mantra of identify, ignore and report when the employees are approached by suspicious persons asking for credible information or grant access to a restricted area. The employees should identify them. First, they should ignore them, and if it is not possible, they should report it. It also encourages the companies to install security measures on the employees' devices to block any unauthorized access by the software or hardware. They recommend verifying suspicious requests with the company by contacting it directly. That is to say, when an unauthorized person or someone approaches to any employee with some request, they should check the person's identity by going to the company directly, not just believing to any website that gives some falsifying information about the particular person. Next, they are also urging installing the antivirus softwares into the devices of the employees, and email filters as well, to check for the spam emails, to check for the website's security before entering any sensitive information, just by looking at the URL that begins with the word of HTTPS. This particular HTTPS indicates that the site is much more secure and they should also check for a closed padlock icon, and which indicates the information which the employees are giving is encrypted. Let me show you how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. This is in normal situation, and this is HTTPS, and this is the closed padlock icon, and this is said to be the secured website. This is said to be the secure rather than this. Okay. Now, otherwise one should never provide any private information or any sensitive information about a company unless 100% sure about the identity of a person, whoever is requesting it. Now, anyone who thinks that they have been a victim of this kind of attack should report the organization immediately without waiting any time. They should change any passwords that may have been compromised. Now, this is all about this particular protection measures, and this is all about the Twitter hacking incident. I really thank you for your time.